So I wanted to use this video as an opportunity to talk a little bit about how to get the best images possible out of cameras that don't actually give you very good video quality. So all of the footage that you saw in the beginning of this video was shot with this little E-m10 Mark II, which if you haven't seen the first video that I did with this camera using it for photography, I'll put that up in one of the cards as well as in the description below. But this camera I bought mainly as a photo tool, but it has video features, so I thought, why not use it? The kind of cool thing about this little camera is that it still has really good image stabilization, even in video. So you can basically handhold this and it looks really, really good. And it has video features that you would think would make it a pretty decent video camera, like an all-eye codec, 60 frames per second. But what I found is that shooting in all-eye isn't actually the best option with this camera. Shooting in superfine gives me a lot better image quality. And basically you really don't want to shoot this camera any higher than ISO 400. In my experience, anything higher than that just looks unusable basically. The video coming out of this is really soft and it's really nothing to write home about. The only thing that's really nice about it is that image stabilization, and the colors coming out of this camera are actually pretty decent. But this kind of reminds me of shooting with an old Canon DSLR. Really soft, not very detailed, a little bit mushy image coming straight out of camera. But what I've found is if you're gonna be shooting with an older camera like this, it's better to just try to play into the fact that it's not a very sharp camera. So shooting stuff that is meant to look older or a little bit more retro or vintage can sometimes work pretty well with older, softer cameras like this. So instead of trying to add sharpening to a camera like this, just leave it as it is. Maybe add some film grain because that'll add a little bit of texture. Go very light on your color grading. So what I did is I actually used film convert and I went with the Olympus E-m10 Mark II natural profile for this camera because they have pretty similar natural color profiles. The nice thing about this camera though is that it's so small and just really easy to just throw in a bag and take it with you anywhere, and it's a great photo camera too. The entirety of the video in the beginning was shot with this Sigma 19mm f2.8. The nice thing about this little lens is that it's only going to cost you around $80, and it's a autofocus lens. It's really sharp. It's only f2.8, but for the majority of the stuff that I do with a little secondary B camera like this, I don't need anything insanely fast. So yeah, if you still have an older camera like this, I would definitely encourage you to just kind of figure out how to use your camera to the best of its abilities, and then you're going to be able to obviously shoot the best video possible out of your camera. And that doesn't matter if you're using an older, softer camera like this or a newer camera. Figuring out how your camera works, what situations it's going to work best in, is going to help you get the best images possible out of your camera. But anyways, I think that's all I have for you in this video. If you'd like to check out some other videos of mine, you can click on either side of my face. And remember, like I always say, you have to